Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV, and I'm here with Patrick Rodgers. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hello, folks out there.
So you want to tell us a little about yourself for anyone who doesn't know about you?
Sure. Well, I'm a concert promoter. I do wild and wacky special events. I had an authentic recreation of a several thousand-year-old Babylonian dinner once. I was briefly involved in starting up the Philadelphia Renaissance Fair and left that project. I've traveled to all sorts of interesting places around the world. I've been to Cuba, I've been to North Korea, I've been to Turkey and Jordan and all sorts of interesting spots, trying to hit all the 7 modern wonders of the world. So I've been to the big Cristo Redentor statue in Brazil and Machu Picchu and a couple other cool spots like that. And I'm a promoter of Gothic and industrial music and occasionally other stuff too.
Awesome. Yeah, that's why I want to have you on my channel, because I do a variety of music, but I really like to focus on the Goth industrial scene. I know you got a big influence on that scene. So how did you get into all that?
Oddly enough, it was sort of by accident. I was kind of into it already without knowing it. There was a club here in Philadelphia called Asylum way back in the day. Very important, very influential club in this scene. And I was meeting some folks there for something completely unrelated to music. And as I started hearing what they were playing, maybe a quarter of it, I was saying, I already own this stuff. This is goth? This is what goth music is? And the rest of it just knocked me on my back. I was so amazed. Hearing Temple of Love by Sisters of Mercy for the first time, I remember just thinking, what is this that I'm hearing? This is so, so emotive and powerful and overwhelming, and you can dance to it. And so that's how I got into it. And from there, it was a combination of picking up on what the DJs were playing, getting good recommendations from the local record store, Digital Underground, and then just sort of exploring on my own and finding new music.
Now, I know Nocturne was a huge influence on the whole city of Philadelphia.
It was, yes.
And that ran for how long?
About 16 and a half years. It's the longest continuously running weekly nightclub party in America of any style or any type.
Wow.
So, it was actually in Spin magazine once. They said it was the only place where you could hear Prince and Bauhaus on the same night.
Wow. So, now, that venue was amazing for the old
Shampoo was a fantastic club. I missed that space a lot.
And you did your Dracula's Balls there too, right?
Yeah, so it's bounced around to a few different locations over the years, but we did many of them at Shampoo, and it really was an ideal spot for that particular event, just because with 3 different rooms, if you didn't like what the DJ was playing in one room or you didn't like the band that was on stage, you always had other options as to where to go. So I think people appreciated that, knowing that there was always going to be something that they liked in one of the 3 rooms.
Yeah, I got one shirt on for that.
I see you rocking the old school Nocturne shirt. So
like you said, the best place in America. I've traveled to all different events and scenes and talked to a bunch of different bands and stuff, and best event ever. Now, I know you still continue the event now.
Well, Nocturne itself has been done for quite a while, but I'm still doing other events here and there. Nothing on a weekly basis because things have changed. The way people go out has changed. The way that promoters are presenting their events in the city has changed. So I'm not sure if support is really there for a big weekly event right now. But if that changes, I'll pick up where I left off.
Right, that's cool. And now you also do some other stuff, like you got your interview with a vampire by a vampire show. So you want to tell us a little about that? And what it's like being a vampire?
Yeah, well, being a vampire is great. You stay up all night and sleep all day. It's the Lost Boys kind of influence on how I like to look at it. So that's my preferred take on the whole vampire thing. But yeah, so as I said, I'm always looking for interesting projects to do, and I thought it might be fun to take a crack at an old school style talk show. So, we've got the chair, we've got the couch, and I had some guests come in. We shot right here. So this is the set for Interviewed by a Vampire.
This is
where
awesome set.
we're shooting this interview.
It's like Interviewed by a Human.
Yes, yeah. So I'm being interviewed now. But we had an incredible astronomer, Derek Pitts from the Franklin Institute, was our first guest, and then Kyle Cassidy, the author and photographer, was our second guest, and then our crazy third guest was Rodney Anonymous from the Dead Milkman, and that was very interesting. He said to me, I said, "Do you want to do this interview?" And he said, "All right, I'll do it, but on one condition. I want to talk about the instructions my grandmother left for her burial." And I said, "Okay, all right, we will," and we did talk about it.
Makes it interesting. Yeah.
It did. That was. They were all fun. They were all fun. So.
And you plan to hopefully continue?
It depends on how the series is received. We shot all 3 episodes. We put them up on YouTube just to give people sort of an early taste of them, and then our digital distributor is shopping it around right now to some of the big content platforms, and if it winds up on Amazon Prime or Netflix or Hulu or something like that, then we'll probably film some more.
It's cool. Now, speaking of music, are you a musician yourself, or no? I mean, you're
You know,
surrounded by
oddly
it.
enough, I have absolutely no talent when it comes to music. I can't play an instrument. I can't sing a scale. Half the stuff that happens on stage, it's just magic to me. I don't even know what they're doing up there. And you would think after a very long time of being a concert promoter that I would be able to plug in a bass amp or maybe tune a guitar or something. Nah, none of it.
Just didn't know, because all the musicians know you and everyone knows you, so I guess that's just from promoting.
Yeah, I wish it rubbed off on me, because I've had the blessing to be around so many very, very talented musicians, you know, some of whom have tremendous history and a lot of respect in the field. But no, it hasn't rubbed off. So
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, you know, who knows?
Right?
Who knows?
So do you have anything big coming up in the future that anyone should know about?
Yeah, so the next Dracula's Ball is booked for mid-March, and we have And One coming in from Germany. They're a very big EDM, synth pop, future pop kind of band. So it's been, I want to say 8 to 10 years maybe since they've been in the U.S. And they have a lot of hits and a lot of fans, so that's going to be a crazy night. And then I can't say anything for sure yet, but keep your calendars open for May. It looks like we have a couple of shows that might happen in May, some really exciting events. So just waiting for the ink to dry on the papers before I talk about that.
That's cool, awesome. Now, you're basically based out of Philly. Do you do anything else in like New York or anywhere else, just Philly?
No, I've always felt that the audience is an important part of the event, whether it's a nightclub or whether it's Dracula's Ball, and Philly is the right audience for me. The people here are just so friendly, they're very welcoming, they're very open-minded, and that was really one of the things that enabled me to create Dracula's Ball. Was the idea behind the event was that I wanted to have a party that had its own following. And then I could put big bands in there, I could put small bands in there, I could do whatever I wanted with the bands, and still have a lot of people show up. And what that enabled me to do was to occasionally take like a local band or even an unsigned band and put them in front of, you know, hundreds or over 1,000 people sometimes. And
Exposure,
yeah, so if you're an unsigned band playing for 1,000 people, that's a pretty big deal for
I
you.
discovered a lot of bands for your events.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy to hear that, and that's the way it's supposed to work. And I don't know that I could have done that in another market. Other cities, I won't name names, but some have reputations for having very sedate and cool fans who just kind of cross their arms and look up at the stage, and they don't really dance, they don't really clap, they don't really, I don't want to deal with that. I want people that are enthusiastic, that are going to give something to the musicians so the musicians can give something back to them. And that's Philly.
Now, I'm sure you've heard Philly is sometimes called the City of Vampires. Have you heard that?
Actually, this is the first time I'm hearing that, which surprises me. So,
Yeah,
who'd you hear that from?
No, you can look it up online, talk to people. It's just got that reputation, so I figured that's perfect for you.
I guess it does work out well for me. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Now, if people want to look you up online, find your events, maybe contact you, how do they do that?
Well, the best ways to do it are always through our websites. So the Dracula's Ball website is very simple. It's just draculasball.com, no hyphens or weird characters or anything, just Dracula's Ball. And then it's the same for my concert promotion company, which I guess we didn't mention by name, is Dancing Ferret Concerts.
Yes.
So if you just type in dancingferret.com, no need for a hyphen or anything else, just one word, dancingferret.com, those two websites will really cover about 90% of what I'm doing. So.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to what you're doing in the future. It was good talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for the interview and thanks for coming
Look
in to
him up.
visit the set.
Yeah.
See you later, folks.